Hey, what's up, you guys? I am Luther Bravo, and today I'm going to be talking to you about being trans and my journey into getting top surgery. So, let's get it. Alright, so first step, at least for me, checking out what surgeons were covered by my insurance because I did go through my insurance to get this covered. One of the things that I looked for when I was enrolling in my insurance was in-network hospital stays, like if my local hospital was covered, because I went through the Affordable Care Act to get my health insurance through Get Covered NJ, as I'm in New Jersey. Um, I did compare it to my employer's plan, what deductibles, premiums, co-pays, things like that, and then what was in and out of network versus doctors I was already familiar with and familiar with their work versus not. And so that's something that I did obviously the year before I even started planning. So that's the first step, is figuring out if you're going to go through insurance or not. And if you're going to go through insurance, what does that look like? And if you're not, obviously, again, what does that look like? The second thing that I did after I figured out the whole insurance thing was I had to get a letter of approval. So this was a little complicated, but I did make it a little bit too complicated for myself because I am grateful, lucky enough, to go to my PCP. There is a therapist there. So eventually I did just go to Dr. Sam for that, and he did give me a letter, which was amazing. Going through my insurance was a little bit, well, also because you're going to have to, like, if you go through your insurance to, pick a therapist, you're going to want to either talk to, somebody on their team to try to get somebody that is familiar with covering LGBT issues and writing letters, because not everyone does, and then certain surgeons need specific things and it needs to be written a certain way. So when you're going through that process of getting letters, I'm pretty sure the surgeon needs a letter even if you don't go through insurance most of the time. You want to make sure that you know what they need to be written on there, like exactly as it is, because you don't want to go through the process of getting your paperwork, submitting it, and they're telling you that it's wrong, because that's a whole thing. Okay, so get the letter, submit it. They said that they were going to call me back. They didn't call me back, so I called them. No problem. Once I called them, we got set up for my first pre-op consult. So, okay, so once I got my consult, we went over, what I'm looking for as far as what's important to me, as far as scars, sensation, things like that. What I'm looking for as far as appearance, right? And these are things you want to definitely consider, at least have a framework of what you're looking for when you go in, because your doctor, your surgeon's going to give you, options dependent obviously on your body type, but it is still your body, so the results that you want, you're going to have to advocate for yourself. You're going to have to vocalize, right? So if nipple sensation is something that's important to you, you may not be able to get, a fully masculinized chest, and that's something that they're going to talk to you about, right? If that's not something that's important to you, talking about, do you want the nipple grafts? Do you not want the nipple grafts? Would you even need to worry about nipple grafts? Would you be doing a keyhole surgery? Would you be doing a double incision? Would you be doing a fish hole? There's a bunch of different options. Some of it does depend on the size of your chest, your BMI. Different surgeons depend different things on, choosing how they do the operation. I'm obviously not a doctor, but, this is based off of the conversation that me and my surgeon had, based off of my weight, my chest size pre-op, and then the results that I wanted. We decided to go with a bilateral double mastectomy with a free nipple grafts. So that's what I did. Then here comes like everything that I did to prep for surgery. Number one, I garden or smoke weed. Should be deep enough in the video that I could say that. I'm not monetized anyway, so whatever. But yeah, stop smoking weed. It's definitely important. Cutting back on alcohol and everything. One of the things was to, help me cut back was, just kind of get into the MySpace, taper off, then just stop. Really, you really do just have to stop. I really do recommend it. I know your surgeon's going to recommend it. I know there's a certain amount, a period before that you definitely need to not have any alcohol or any illicit substances. I believe for me, they said it was about 72 hours. Maybe go for a week before that, just because you don't want to mess up the anesthesia or anything like that. You want to wake up and have a very smooth recovery. Also, as far as smoking goes, I know it can impact how well your scars, the incisions heal. So that's something to look out for. I know it could impact scar tissue. So these are things you want to be mindful of. So especially during recovery, you're not going to want to smoke. You shouldn't be smoking or drinking. So I definitely think it was really important for me to start before, to be able just to continue on, instead of being like, oh, I just got surgery and now I have to quit. You know what I mean? If you're just already not doing it, it's definitely easier. Second thing was I made sure I got a lot of cardio in, as much cardio as I could, and really worked out my back, traps, triceps, biceps, my chest as well, but definitely all of my accessory muscles, everything that's not my chest. And I definitely think that really helped with the recovery process, because I really wasn't in a lot of pain. So yeah. All right, so as far as products go, there was only 3 real things that really helped me out, that I think. Number one, just having a go-to water bottle that's easy to refill up, that you don't have to fill up all the time, just because you're going to be resting, laying down a lot. Obviously, you're going to be moving around too, but you are going to be resting a lot, so you want to stay hydrated. It's really important for recovery. It's nice to just have that nearby. Second thing, these bad boys. So these are rinse-free sponge baths. This is really important for me because I don't like to stink, and I had drains post-op for a week, and you can't shower and everything, like get into a regular shower or bath or anything like that when you have the drains. So being able to get clean definitely made me feel better, especially during that first week, you know what I mean? So definitely that. And then the last thing was this pillow here. Now I know a lot of people like the wedge pillow. I like this because, like, if I was laying in bed, I had a little extra arm support here, and I think that really helped me with the recovery, just because, I was still able to be productive and lay in bed for hours. And mentally, emotionally, you want to still feel good while you're in recovery, so you don't want to feel like you're being unproductive, you don't want to feel lazy. And being able to do that and just, like, text or be on my phone, be on my laptop, whatever, definitely helped out, just because you don't know how stiff and sore your muscles are going to be post-op. So then, as far as like the whole timeline for me post-op, had the surgery June 26th, had my first post-op appointment on either the 2nd or the 3rd. On that day, they removed the drains because I was at level. I know for a lot of people, you're probably going to have the drains in for 1 to 2 weeks. It really depends on how much fluid they have to drain there. So that's definitely important. You're going to want to measure that during my process. I had to keep record of how much, I was draining in the morning and at night as well. This was something additional though that I did, and it's mainly because my sister is a nursing student. Shout out to my sister. I always take my temperature every time that I took the drainage. And that was great, I think, just because it really helps you keep track of if you're getting an infection or not. Most of the time, my sister was telling me that, like, within the first, like, day or two, you kind of know if things are, but at least coming off of anesthesia, but you just never know. So it's good to definitely keep notes of that, keep notes of any stinging, any complications that you may or may not have. For example, I had on one of my drains on the side, there was like, it kind of scabbed up the dry blood right around the drain. So that was pretty painful. So I called in and you know, they helped me alleviate the situation and everything, and that was fine. But I did write that down so that way when I got to my post-op visit with my doctor, we talked about all of that, just so that way everyone's on the same page. This is a big surgery. You know, you want to make sure it goes as well as possible. You want to get the best results as possible, and obviously you want to stay healthy. So I think, you know, as much information as possible on how you're feeling, on what you're experiencing, temperature, drainage, all of that, you know what I mean, is going to be good, just to keep track of. Even if not for your doctor, for yourself, so that way you can see that you're getting better, right? And the last thing, as far as scars go, I use a combination of silicone gel and silicone tape. So days where I'm in the house more, I just apply the gel multiple times a day, and days when I'm out and about, I just keep the tape on. I try to mix them up, try to use them both kind of equally. And that's mainly because I do like the flattening pressure that you get from just having the tape on for hours. But with applying the gel, I get to massage it more, and that does help with things like keloids and things like that. I'm not going to show my scars in this video, mainly just because I don't feel like taking my shirt off. But yeah, no, they're healing up pretty well. Maybe one day I'll get to it and I'll show you guys. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, the doctor that I went to was Dr. Alexander Au, in South Jersey. Amazing doctor. Cannot recommend him enough. Gotta give him his flowers, gotta give him his tens. Did amazing work. Thank you, doc. And yeah, I've been Luther Bravo. You've been you, and this has been amazing. So we'll check it out next time. See ya.